Alright.
Alright guys, welcome to Cox and Bry Talk Kicky. I'm Cox.
And I'm Bry.
And this is week 5 for us and week 13 of the MLS.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Is it week 13? Jeez, time flies.
I know, it's crazy, right? That's like a third of the season. Right there, just past the third.
Just rewind. That's it's going too fast.
That's real sad. Can we go back to week 8?
Yeah.
This week we're going to be doing highlights and results from the week. We're going to talk about the table, we're going to talk about USL, and we're going to do Cox and Bry's bangers.
Bangers.
Bangers, baby. Let's go.
Right on, brother.
Let's go.
Bobo will have a go, and he beat him! Bobo! Bends it to the post! West takes a deflection. Falls here for making the goal! Bakul Kazashvili will make way as Boateng continues on his way. Here's Alisson through the other turn! Oh, that is an incredible goal!
And also, happy Memorial Day. It was a late week, so we are definitely honoring our troops. Mm-hmm. So we're going to have a quick moment of silence to honor them.
Thank you to all of you that serve and have served, and for you that have family members who have died, thank you very much.
Much appreciated. America.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get into it.
Eastside.
As far as Houston Dynamo and New York City FC goes, 6th minute, New York City FC is going to strike first. Who do you think scored this one?
Let's see.
If you had to guess.
If I had to guess.
Anybody. Any old guy on New York City FC.
Probably one of the defenders. They put in all the goals, right?
David Villa, baby.
Of course.
Of course. What a dumb guess.
I know. I'm an idiot.
So ball gets crossed in from the right side, and all the Dynamo defenders that attempted to miss the clearance. Ball goes straight to a waiting David Villa. It was cool. It almost seemed like he knew they were going to miss the clearance, and went right to his feet, and he just drove it in the bottom left corner first time. Sick volley.
Sick.
Anyway, put New York City FC up 1-0. About 15 minutes later, a Kyoto free kick crossed in, and a clean header by Fuenmayor, the center back, to the back post. Ties up the game. A little bit of action, a couple of post hits, and then fast forward to minute number 69. A bad touch by New York City FC's Ebenezer Ofori gifts the ball straight to Houston, and Martinez passes it into the net from the penalty area. Houston Dynamo are up 2-1 at this point. 80th minute, Albert Ellis, what a legend, is going to put the game beyond a shadow of a doubt. Cross from Mauro Manotas on the left side, and he heads it in. Blocked by Sean Johnson at first, and then he finishes his own rebound, and Houston Dynamo take it 3-1. Good result for Houston. Surprising result.
Definitely a surprise.
Nonetheless, but good result for Houston.
Definitely for sure. Fuenmayor, I thought, had a really good game coming into his own for them. That's that center back you were talking about. Albert Ellis.
Good young center back.
I love when he puts on the mask, Albert Ellis. I think that's awesome.
The Black Panther mask. Great celebration. The fans loved it. Surprisingly, no to yellow for that, though.
Super cool name. La Pantera. I mean, come on.
No, that's cool.
That's really cool. He's really playing well. I think he's at 7 goals right there behind the leaders. Yeah. And David Villa at 8 with the leaders.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
Tied with the leaders.
Moving on. Orlando City against Chicago Fire. 13th minute for Chicago. They will start off the scoring. A 30-yard free kick for Alexander Katai outside the top center of the box. Beautifully placed in the top left corner to open the scoring.
Sick.
One of 2 bangers by Chicago.
Absolutely
in this game. We'll talk about the second one here in a second, but sick free kick by Katai.
Really nice.
Well done. Orlando will tie up the match in the 28th minute. Chris Mueller, he had a small chip through ball, puts Agita right in front of goal, and he finishes it into the bottom corner, ties the game up 1-1. But Chicago's not having it. 82nd minute, Chicago's going to take the game away. Alan Gordon scores the goal. Dude, hold on.
Boy.
This goal. This man, he's on the latter end of his career. It took everybody by surprise.
It was dirty.
But he gets the ball,
really far out.
30+ yards.
The defenders were just chilling.
And I don't think anybody expected him to rip it. He just rips it 30+ yards. Top
Absolutely
right corner.
disgusting.
And wins the game for Chicago. 82nd minute. Late game stunner. Late game banger. Wins the game for Chicago.
Huge.
Awesome win for Chicago. Not trying to put them down, but Orlando City.
3 losses in a row.
Goodness gracious, get it together.
Landsliding.
They're starting to look like Toronto FC out there. Just a huge letdown.
It's funny because a lot of people predicted it. They were getting all these wins in a row. Everyone was like, oh, they're on a great winning streak. They weren't playing anybody good.
I was on that train. I was like, okay, wow, Orlando City looks like a contender this year. They're playing really well. But then after they started losing, I looked back at their schedule and I was like, okay.
They didn't play anybody good.
Yeah, fake news.
Yeah.
We talked about this last week. They're fake news. Like, they got some wins over some easy teams. Not a big deal. I wasn't really paying attention to who they were beating.
Yeah.
But
it is unfortunate. I think that's 3 weeks in a row with a 2-1 loss.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunate. So they're putting in some goals still, but
they're not. They're putting 3 goals in 3 games. That's not enough to be successful in this league.
Right. I agree.
Anymore.
Yeah.
And letting in 2 goals a week isn't the worst thing, but it's not great.
Yeah. Tough for them. They got to get that defense figured
So
out.
that's what happened in my 2 games I'm highlighting this week. Otherwise, in the Eastern Conference,
we had a lot of East-West games this week.
Yes,
like a lot, but we split them up equally.
Yeah, we split them up.
Yeah.
I'm also gonna just highlight real quick Toronto FC against FC Dallas. Another loss for Toronto, no surprise there. Another win for FC Dallas, no surprise there either.
Banging.
Gonzalez putting in a great shift for Dallas in goal.
Grief. On his birthday too.
Yeah, well done.
I mean, just really dirty.
Well
Feel
done,
free to
Gonzalez.
go. And we might put one of the highlights in here, but sick. Maxi Urruti with another goal. Mm-hmm. Easy one this time. Not like his bangers he's been putting in outside the box, but putting in goals. Putting in goals is a winner still.
Otherwise, New York Red Bulls against Philadelphia. Boring 0-0 draw.
Red card.
Made
that one a bit interesting.
Yeah. Saw a couple cards this week, actually. And then after that, we had Minnesota against Montreal. Minnesota pulled out a 2-0 win over,
Minnesota 2-0.
Yeah, Minnesota had a 2-0 win over Montreal. Minnesota are surprising me. They're having some really bad weeks, but then they're having some really good weeks.
They're winning the games they should win, and then they're looking really bad in the games that I feel that they can compete in.
Absolutely.
So they got to figure
that out. Pretty up and down for Minnesota. Montreal, kind of the same story. I think they're a little better than they are worse, but
yeah, that's
just me. And then lastly, I've got LAFC against DC United. That's a 1-1 draw. A lot of draws this week in the MLS. LAFC had a red card in the first half, which definitely affected the game. And they were up actually most of the game 1-0, and then DC United tied it late in the 84th minute. So, well done, perseverance by DC, but also well done to LAFC for holding a lead that long with being a man down. That's not an easy thing to do.
Definitely.
So that about wraps it up for what I've got for you guys. Cox, take it away. What you got?
Yeah, I did want to apologize. I said that there was a red card in that game, but I was thinking about the next game that you referred to. There was no red card in the New York Red Bulls and Philly game. I saw a decent bit of that game. I thought Philly actually played really, really well. But yeah, onto the western side now.
The correction was made. No harm done.
We're good. Everybody knows. No red card in that game. Philly actually, I thought, outperformed New York Red Bulls.
West side.
Next, I'm going to get into my first game for the West, Vancouver versus New England. Man, this game was outrageous. New England opened up the scoring in the 25th minute with Christian Pena. Played a dangerous low cross, and Vancouver's defender Ali Ghazal, defensor,
I love that.
I know. I got confused because actually Ali Ghazal, he is a midfielder. And he was playing defense in this game. That's where I got thrown off.
He was definitely a defensor this week.
Defensor for sure. A little bit of defense, a little bit of midfielder, you know. But nonetheless, he was playing defense this game. He tried to clear it out. Missed it. Back of the net. Own goal. Tough break for sure. Second half now. Fagundes plays a long through ball. Pena bodies the crap out of Vancouver's Franklin and slots it home in the 48th minute. Great finish. Poor defending. Well done from them, and it looks like it's going to be a blowout. But just 1 minute later, Marcel de Jong receives a nice ball down the line from Alphonso Davies, the young 17-year-old stud. Plays a beautiful ball across the 6, right on top of the 6. Christian Teixeira right there, bangs it home. Great finish. That bounce was tricky, but he just nailed it. Just 2 minutes after that, Tybert plays another incredible cross right into the 6th, and they left Teixeira alone again. Where was this guy? Little 5'2" Paraguayan getting all wide open on the field, man.
Short people represent, baby.
Yeah, initial shot was blocked, but he heads in the rebound. It's 2-2. Just 6 minutes into the second half in this game. Goals everywhere. We still have a lot of game left. We are 6 minutes into the second half, and it's 2-2. 59th minute now. This game was absolutely nuts. Fagundes plays a perfect ball right to the feet of Teal Bunbury on the 6-yard box. Teal Bunbury smashes it home like he does. He scores goals, and New England reclaims the lead, and it looks like all Vancouver's work is for nothing. But now it's the 74th minute. Reyna got a loose behind the defense on the right side, and another perfect cross right to Teixeira. Somehow he is wide open again. Somebody cover this guy. He's too small to see on the field, I guess. Little 5'2" guy. He just hides on there behind some defenders.
All right, well, you're making a few too many references to how short he is. I need you to relax.
I'm just amazed that this guy's 5'2" and getting wide open, and he gets a hat trick. He scores.
Okay, you know what?
Again.
Short people are capable of things.
I guess so.
Okay?
I guess
Look
so.
at me.
6
Is he actually
inches.
5'2", or are you just assuming he's 5'2"?
No, he is. I look.
Do you need him to come on here and defend himself?
Yes.
You know, I'll do it for you. He's
Teixeira,
probably taller than 5'2". He's probably like 5'5".
No, he's 5'2".
Okay, well,
Unless
see.
MLS
We'll see
just
about
put
that.
him
I
on
don't
there.
know. Well, maybe.
He's a dude.
He could be.
Look at these highlights. Hat trick for him. That game was exhausting, but so good. Ends 3-3. Both offenses deserved 3 points. Both defenses did not deserve 3 points, and they both get 1. Sorry, guys. Play better defense.
Kiss
3-3.
your sister.
I loved it. It was a great game to watch, so I don't care who got a point. Next game, Colorado versus Portland. In the 29th minute, Samuel Armenteros. Wow. Colorado's Wilson gets caught flat-footed. Armenteros doinks it up and around him and curls it home past Tim Howard.
I'm sorry, he did what?
Doinks it. New word on the show. Doinks.
Doinks it.
It's like dinks, but better.
Oh, okay.
Doinks.
Kind of reminds me of like Scooby-Doo. Jinkies.
Yoinks.
What is that?
That goal was sick. Armenteros got his first goal last week, continuing his goal-scoring ways all of a sudden. Apparently he can find the back of the net. 2 minutes later, Castillo has a nice Meggers on Portland's Alvis Powell, plays a great ball across, and it deflects off of Julio Cascante. Tough own goal, 1-1. Game on Rapids. 2 bad plays from 2 Portland defenders there. Who that Portland defense has been really solid recently. But now we're in the 37th minute. Sebastian Blanco plays a ball across. Howard kind of blunders it and doesn't push it far enough. Should have tapped it over the bar, but oh well. Falls right to Armenteros as a gift, and he heads it home. 3 goals on the season, just like that. And it's 2-1 Portland. Now the 56th minute. Valero receives a good ball from Sebastian Blanco again. Sebastian Blanco all over the field making assists. Absolutely puts Declan Wynn on skates and neatly slots it home like a true vet to secure the win. 3-1. Colorado does score a PK in the very last minute of stoppage time in the 96th, but that just finishes 3-2. Portland with the win.
Consolation goal, classic.
Portland with 6 wins in a row. Absolutely crushing it right now. Next.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, that was somebody's top horse. Just saying.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know what you're talking about.
Flashback to Monday, the day after our last show, or during our last show. It was LA Galaxy versus Montreal. ZLATAN just slapped the crap out of this kid.
So that happened.
That was bad. Montreal, very disappointing. Couldn't score up a man. Ola Kamara scored short-handed.
Describes their whole season, I think.
I definitely think so. But the fact that they got scored on short-handed, Ola Kamara plays a great goal. Nice for them. But how did they give up that goal up a man? That is frustrating. LA Galaxy gets a win.
Well,
nice for them.
They have by far, and when I say by far, I mean very far the worst goal differential in the Eastern Conference.
Really?
They're at negative 15 goal differential. The next closest team is Toronto with negative 6.
Yep. After that game,
that's really bad.
It's really bad. After that game, the Montreal manager came out and said he'd be down to trade Piatti. Crazy news right there. Not really sure what he was thinking about that. Maybe just a little angry, maybe in the moment, but we'll see how that develops.
I think because that's not one of those players you want to give up
That is the staple of that team. I understand you could maybe get a couple more higher quality players, possibly, but that's a risk. Piatti's incredible. Please keep him on your team.
That's a pretty immature move by the coach to try to let out all of his anger on one player, especially one of the guys that's going to be your star week in and week out.
Definitely. How could you agree with that guy?
That's not cool, man.
We'll see how that develops.
Not cool moment of the week.
On to Friday now. On to Friday now. LA Galaxy again. They had 2 games this weekend. They had a 1-0 win in the Cali Clasico over San Jose. Absolute stunner by Alessandrini. So dirty in the 82nd. Absolutely just destroys it. And they get another win. 2 wins on the weekend for them. Great for them. They really need some results. That's huge for them. On to the next one. Real Salt Lake versus Seattle. This one was kind of up in the air. We were going to see who was going to show up and who wasn't in this one. And you know who showed up? Saucedo for Real Salt Lake. What a shot. He curls this one up and over Stephen Fry. He gets a hand on it but can't put it away. 1-0. First MLS goal for Saucedo. You wouldn't know it. That was an absolutely sick goal. And that was it. Seattle is still struggling. Can't find any offense.
It was a banger if you ask me.
It was definitely a banger. Great win for Real Salt Lake. They needed it. Seattle really got to find a way to put goals in the net. On to my last game of the week. Sunday, the only game on Sunday, SKC versus Columbus. First half red for Higuain, your boy. Tough moment for him. He was, it was into the half.
And I believe that was a review.
It was.
I believe it was a review.
On a review, straight red,
They had to go back and take him off, which I agree with the call.
Yeah,
I hate to say it.
Definitely. I think it was tired legs. It was last minute of stoppage time for the half.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
Very unfortunate.
But SKC couldn't put one in, and great result for Columbus. It goes 0-0 draw. That's 5 straight shutouts for Columbus. Zach Steffen is an absolute beast in the goal. Huge result for Columbus.
No surprise there.
Whoever had won that game, if somebody had come out with a win, they would have been the top for the Shield, supporter Shield, but neither of them were able to secure a win, so neither of them now hold the top spot for the Shield. But it was a good match to see. I am really tired of seeing these really hyped up top-level matches always have a red card. We had SKC and Atlanta like that. We had this one, SKC and Columbus like that. I mean, I'm tired of these top matches not living up to the hype, partly for other reasons. But Higuain's red, definitely justified. It's just sad. I'd like to see some better results. But that's it for me. Anything else for you for the week?
I do want to chip in with one thing about the Eastern Conference table. I guess we could go ahead and move on to the table real quick.
Yeah, next segment.
Dinner time. Where are you sitting at the table?
I want to talk about the Eastern Conference table really quickly. So as you can see, Atlanta United still sitting pretty at the top of the table with 25 points, tied with second place Columbus Crew. Columbus Crew have 14 games played. Atlanta United have 12. So best case scenario, Atlanta United have 31 points to Columbus Crew's 25 after 14 games played. New York City FC has 13 games played and they're 1 point behind Atlanta United. So best case scenario there for Atlanta United would be they have 28 points to New York City's 24 after 13 games played. Now, the interesting part here comes to the fourth place New York Red Bulls. They are sitting with 22 points and 11 games played. So they get that one more game played that Atlanta United has.
Yeah.
And they're tied for the lead in the Eastern Conference. Oh. That is definitely worth noting that they've only got 11 games played.
Yeah.
So once they catch up to games played with everybody else, they are a danger to the lead. So the top four is very tight right now. But
very, very tight.
New York Red Bulls, they are sitting in fourth, but you got to keep an eye on those games played.
They got a lot of games.
That's a very important factor in this Eastern Conference.
It really kind of skews the list here.
It does.
What else?
You got to look at just a reminder when you're looking at the table, look at everything.
Yeah. Yeah, for real.
Especially when the points are tight, look at goal differential. Look at who's playing at home and who's playing away. Like, for example, Toronto FC don't have a single win or tie on the road this season. So if they're playing away, you're going to go ahead and bet statistically they're going to lose. Mm-hmm. So if when you're trying to keep track of your team and where they could possibly end up at the table in the next 2-3 weeks, which are going to be very crucial weeks.
Looking at you guys.
Look at where they are playing, home or away.
Make sure you pay
Who are they playing? Does that team bleed goals? Is their home stadium a fortress?
Yep.
So
definitely.
I can't stress enough, look at the full table. If you don't understand something about the table, ask us. Research it on your own. It's not very difficult to figure out, but it's very important, and it tells you a lot about the league, and it really helps you learn about the other teams.
Definitely.
So Eastern Conference is the table's really cool to look at. Just like where everybody's at, how many games are played. Like there's a lot. It's a chess piece. So how about the West?
With the Western side, it stays pretty much the same at the top. Kansas City's still up there. They had a tough game against Columbus. If they could have gotten that result with a man up, that would have been big for them, giving them a little bit of separation there. LAFC right behind them. Tough result against a bottom of the Eastern side, DC United, but they did have the red card. Still actually almost won that game. DC had to score very late to tie that game. So that's kind of an outlier. I think we'll kind of forget about that one. Portland, like I said, 6 wins in a row, absolutely killing it. Undefeated at home, playing really well. Defense is looking good there. FC Dallas and Houston, both absolutely shooting upwards. Houston jumps Vancouver this weekend, moves up into 5th. Vancouver in 6th. The bottom still looks the same. Colorado's bad. Seattle and San Jose are bad. Real Salt Lake is moving on up. Actually, Real, LA Galaxy, and Minnesota all 16 points. That's 7 through 9 right behind Vancouver. So those could really start to shape up. LA Galaxy with 2 huge wins this weekend to get on up there. Real Salt Lake with a win. Minnesota with a win. So they're all on their way up.
LA, Portland, FC Dallas, all undefeated at home.
Absolutely sick. And actually, Real Salt Lake is 4-1 at home, which is surprising. Good for them.
Yeah.
Playing well in their stadium.
Only one loss for Real Salt Lake. Yeah, very surprising based on how they've played all season, but
they're playing well.
Good home record.
Playing pretty well now. The goal differential thing is the only thing that worries me with that -10, but looking good. Let's get on to our next segment.
USL, United Soccer League.
We're going to look at a couple of fixtures coming up for the U.S. Open Cup involving USL and MLS teams, a couple of MLS on MLS fixtures, a couple of USL on MLS fixtures, which we want to focus on because those are the most interesting.
Yeah.
We saw FC Cincinnati make a deep run last season.
2 wins against MLS teams. Yeah, so basically to give you guys the insight on this, right after last weekend's games of round 3 of the U.S. Open Cup, they did the live results. They did a random draw, but based on regions for this round 4, which is where they plug in the MLS teams. So now we have MLS teams versus mainly USL teams, some outliers who have won some good games so far. And this is technically round 4 of the US Open Cup, but the first round for the MLS. So we had some awesome draws that came out of this. They did it by region, so that always made it more competitive for rivalries and things like that. Some of the big ones I want to highlight, Louisville City versus New England Revolution. That's the old USL champions from last year. So
Yeah,
they could
Louisville
definitely
City
come
are the
up.
reigning USL champions. They've been in the USL playoffs every year, so they're a tough competitor. And New England Revolution are having a good season as well. So you're going to have a top team in the USL against a top team in the MLS. That's going to be an exciting game to watch.
And Louisville is on their game right now. They just came and had a great win against Cincinnati in their little derby that they have every year, 1-0 win against them. Huge
River
result
City
for their. So
derby.
they're on firm,
Absolutely.
on form,
And
great on form.
mind you, the MLS teams are going to field a weaker squad most of the time.
Yeah.
But it's still very interesting to watch because as the rounds go on, the MLS sides will become stronger.
And that's the most exciting part for me is as we see the MLS getting better and better, that means there's good players not getting into the MLS and they're playing the USL. So in the same way, the USL is getting better and better, and it's just getting tighter and tighter in competition. Really
and
fun
another point worth noting is that there are a lot of players that have come down from the MLS in the USL and vice versa. You've got Didier Drogba playing for Phoenix Rising. He's an owner, which is a factor there, but he plays in the USL.
And I wish they were still in it.
Absolutely. And so you're gonna see some cool stuff if you pay close attention. And the USL is considered professional. The players are paid.
Yeah.
So it is Division 2, and those teams can compete with the MLS teams. So watch it. It's not a waste of time.
It's like you said, Cincinnati beat 2 MLS teams last year. I don't think they're a sleeper anymore. I think they can't even be picked as a sleeper.
Yeah, there are a couple teams you might consider from the USL that are a dark horse, but it's not by much.
Right. Some of the MLS teams do face each other. One of those, New York Red Bulls and New York City. Another Hudson River Derby happening again.
What a gift. Thank you, U.S. Open Cup.
Come on, let's go.
That's awesome.
I saw a tweet where somebody was like, this Open Cup is destroying a good rivalry. We're playing them too often. I'm like, you should be excited.
Could we just have that matchup every week? That'd be amazing.
Seriously.
2 great teams. That's beautiful football. Let's watch it and enjoy it.
A good game is a good game. I don't care if they play each other 3 times. It's always going to be amazing.
But clearly that person is a bit mistaken.
Yeah.
Soccer gods forgive them.
Other ones to highlight, Miami United against Orlando City. That should be a good game. Atlanta United playing Charleston Battery. That is their old affiliate. No longer their affiliate, but that should be pretty exciting.
Williams coming up from Charleston Battery last season to Atlanta United as a bench player, a sub coming on to a lot of games. So.
Pretty interesting for sure. FC Cincinnati and Minnesota United are playing. We already kind of talked about that. I think that's a great matchup for FC Cincinnati. I think they could easily win that game.
They could compete against Minnesota's first team.
Yeah, I think so. Nashville Soccer Club, there we go, against Colorado Rapids. That's also one that could easily be an upset. Colorado is definitely not very strong, especially if they don't field their top team. Real Salt Lake against Sporting Kansas City. That could be interesting depending on who Kansas City puts in.
MLS matchup, good game.
Yeah, bringing it up since it's MLS versus MLS. LA Galaxy versus FC Golden State Force. Now, this is one that I don't think will be close, but it would be the most incredible upset. FC Golden State Force is from the PDL. They are not from the USL.
You want to see these grassroots clubs win. Last year in the U.S. Open Cup, we saw Christos FC.
Yeah.
Just a Sunday League team, essentially. Make a deep run in the Cup. Now, this year they were out in the first round they played, unfortunately. But there are other clubs like them.
This is what we like to see.
Watch that. That's the beautiful part about this game, and that's why I love the U.S. Open Cup. It's awesome.
And with LA Galaxy's defense as bad as it is, that game's going to be wide open. I think that's going to be a really fun one to see.
You got a lot of teams and a lot of players that want it. And you got a lot of MLS teams and a lot of USL teams that are taking it for granted when they play these grassroots, small Sunday League teams.
Yeah.
So it's super fun.
It's going to be awesome. And last one for the weekend, late 8 p.m. on June 6th, we have Sacramento Republic FC. That's a USL team playing really well this year against Seattle Sounders FC, which is not a very good team right now. I think that, in my opinion, is the upside I'm looking at. I think that Sacramento Republic will go in there and win that game.
Good call.
Do you have any upsets you think?
I'm looking at Louisville City.
You can't not.
They're in form in the USL. They're dominating. And
defending champs.
And if New England Revolution, for whatever reason, fixtures being too close together, need to rest some players and field a weaker squad than normal, I'm looking at Louisville City to upset them right there. So definitely keep an eye on that. And also, any other game where there's a USL-MLS matchup, don't count out those USL teams.
For real. They are playing their best players, and MLS is not. But even if they were, I think these games are getting closer and closer every year. And that game was originally going to be in New England, and now it is at Lynn Stadium at University of Louisville. So it's home for them. They're going to have a great crowd. Yeah.
Yes.
Great crowd at it. If you want to see that one, that's June 5th at 7 p.m. There's possibly going to be a stream. I know Louisville City was talking about
June
putting
5th?
June 5th.
June 5th, okay.
7 p.m. And then the last game I was talking about, that's June 6th at 8 p.m. So all these games are between June 5th and June 6th. And then the night after that, they'll do the draw for the next round, which will be very exciting to see. And guys, this keeps going all the way until like September. I think the final's in September. So we're definitely going to keep you up to date on all of this. Next segment.
Let's figure out what are the bangers for next week.
Cox and Bry's bangers. 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 Bangers.
Bangers.
Cox and Bry's bangers.
Thank you, Brett, for introducing our segment for us. My banger for next week to keep an eye on will be Atlanta United against the New England Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be on Wednesday at 7:30 Eastern Time. You can catch that on ESPN Plus or your local channel if you're local to Atlanta or New England.
Mm-hmm.
That's my banger. It's going to be a good game. 2 top half contenders for the Eastern Conference. New England's looking hot right now. Obviously, Atlanta United are in top spot of that, so that's why they are my banger
New England is definitely on the way up. Really, really exciting. 3 goals just this weekend against Vancouver.
They're scoring a lot of goals.
Atlanta can score goals, so I think it's going to be a high-scoring
goal fest.
Could be, which is always fun
3-3, 4-3, 3-2, something like that. That's what you're going to be looking at.
Hey, great banger pick, Bry.
Thanks, man. Banger. Right on, brother.
Right on, brother.
I think we need to get Brett to give us one of those.
Probably. All right, my banger for the weekend I think is definitely going to be FC Dallas versus LAFC. I mean, under the lights, Saturday night. That's at 8 Eastern.
I'm looking at LAFC every week, man.
You've got to, but
I
FC
love that
Dallas.
club. I love it.
I mean, after what we just saw FC Dallas do this weekend, I mean, they're just winning game after game.
Mm-hmm.
They've only lost 1 game. They have lost 1 game.
Funny, you told me that story about your brother-in-law earlier. Called you today. He lives in Dallas.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Hey, man, I saw your channel, your YouTube channel. Should I start keeping track of the MLS?" And like, heck yeah, man. You're
Yes,
in a hub
your
right
team.
now.
Your team is sick. Go watch your team.
So if you live in Dallas, watch FC Dallas.
Yes. Also, Houston, when they play in a couple of weeks, it's going to be so fun to watch that Texas rivalry.
Oh, yeah.
That game will be on ESPN Plus or your local channels if you're in those cities, and I'm definitely watching that on ESPN Plus. Also, this isn't in any way an advertisement, but if you don't have ESPN Plus, you should definitely get it. Great to watch. They have all the games that are on normal.
Games. Think times are changing.
Yeah, it's just $5 a month. It's nothing. Pocket change.
Not bad.
Easy.
All right, so those are Cox and Bry's bangers. Real quick before we sign off, shout out to Renegade Prince.
Yes,
For
thank
our
you guys.
fancy new tablecloth
it's
with
so
our
wonderful.
logo.
Oh.
So cool. We look so official.
Yeah.
We'll put their info in our description.
Yes, go check those guys
For any
out.
of your printing needs, if you do
Trade shows
or anything like that, backdrops, tablecloths, stuff like that, check
Big
them out.
banners. They'll print anything.
They're incredible. Send them your logo. They take care of the rest. We did literally nothing.
Thank you,
And they
guys.
send it to us pro bono. So thanks, guys. Appreciate that over at Renegade Prince.
Thank you, guys.
So anyway, that wraps it up for us this week. Thanks for watching.
I'm Cox.
And I'm Bry. Our email and Twitter are in the description, or you can hit us up in the comments below if you want to be a part of our show next week. See you later.
Hit that subscribe button, guys.
Yes, sir.
Take care.